Namaskaram. Today I'm here to talk on the topic, How to Solve Problems and Make Life's Decisions, by Paramahansa Yogananda ji. I have explained this topic in my own words, using simple terms, to make it easier for all of you to understand. Jai Guru. If you like our content, click like and subscribe for further videos. The world will keep going on like this, with good and bad times. To find direction, we shouldn't rely on our biases shaped by our habits, family, or surroundings. Instead, we should listen to our guiding voice of truth, which is within us. Truth isn't just a theory or philosophy. It's about exactly matching reality. For a human being, truth means having a clear, strong, and unchangeable understanding of their true nature, i.e., knowing himself, herself as a soul. In daily life, truth is a sense of awareness guided by spiritual wisdom. It makes us do certain things and act in a certain way. Not because someone tells us to, but because we know they are the right actions. When you are in direct contact with the Creator, i.e., God, the omnipresence of this universe, you are in direct contact with all wisdom and understanding. Wisdom doesn't come from outside sources. It depends on how open and is the power of how receptive you are internally. This determines how much true knowledge you can attain and how rapidly. When a problem comes up, instead of dwelling on it, here dwelling means to constantly be immersed in those problematic thoughts. So instead of dwelling on it, think of every possible way of action to rid yourself of it. If you are unable to think, compare your particular trouble with others who have similar troubles in the past, and from their experiences, learn which ways lead to failure and which ways lead to success. Choose those steps that seem logical and practical, and then get busy implementing them. The whole library of the universe is hidden within you. All the things you want to know are within yourself. To bring them out, think creatively. Perhaps you are seriously concerned about your child, or your health, or a mortgage payment, not finding an immediate solution. You start worrying about the situation, and what do you get? A headache, nervousness, heart trouble, because you do not clearly analyze yourself and your problems. You do not know how to control your feelings or the condition that confronts you. Instead of wasting time worrying, think positively about how the cause of the problem can be removed. If you want to get rid of a trouble, calmly analyze your difficulty. You can start by writing down point by point the pros and cons of the matter. Then determine what steps might be best to accomplish your goal. There is always a way out of your trouble. And if you take the time to think clearly and focus on how to get rid of the cause of your anxiety, instead of just worrying about it, you become a master at handling challenges in life. All successful men and women devote much time of their time to deep concentration. They are able to dive deeply within their minds and to find the right solutions for the problems they face. If you learn how to withdraw your attention from all objects of distraction and to place it upon one object of concentration, you too will know how to attract, at will, whatever you need. Focusing your mind on one thing at a time is the key. How to develop discriminative judgment. When the mind is calm, how quickly, how smoothly, how beautifully you will perceive everything. That's the power and ease of a calm mind. A calm person reflects restfulness in his eyes, keen intelligence in his face, and proper receptivity in his mind. Here, receptivity means the ability to understand and listen to a message and information with an open mind without any preconceived notions. A man who is calm is a man of decisive and timely action, which means to act on time and never causing delays. Such a man is not moved by impulses and desires that suddenly occur to him. Always think first of what you are about to do and how it will affect you and others. To act on impulse is not freedom, for you will be at the receiving end of unpleasant effects that come out of wrong actions. To do those things your discrimination tells you are good for you is all freeing. That is true freedom. Action guided by wisdom creates a divine existence, which means a life which aligns with divine ideals and laws of nature. Man should not be like a psychological automated machine, which means to be like the animal, which acts only through instinct. To be unconscious and unaware of your actions is a great violation of the divine law and spirit, which abides in you. We are naturally meant to be conscious of what we do. We should reflect before we act. We should learn how to use our minds so that we can evolve and realize our oneness with the Creator, divine omnipresence. Everything we do should be the result of a planned and well-intended thought. A student had made a serious error. She lamented, "I have always cultivated good habits. It seems incredible that this misfortune should have happened to me." Your mistake was to rely too heavily on good habits and to neglect constant exercise of right judgment, Paramahansa Yogananda said. Your good habits help you in ordinary and familiar situations, but may not suffice to guide you when a new problem arises. Then discrimination is necessary. By deeper meditation, you will learn to choose the right course in everything, even when confronted by extraordinary circumstances. Man is not an automaton, and therefore cannot always live wisely by simply following set rules and rigid moral precepts. In the great variety of daily problems and events, we find scope for the development of good judgment. And this good judgment should be cultivated from within. Good judgment is a natural expression of wisdom, but it is directly dependent on harmony within, which is the balance of mind. When the mind lacks harmony, it has no peace. And without peace, it lacks both judgment and wisdom. Life is full of bumps and knocks. In the hours of trials, which demand your clear judgment, if you preserve your mental balance within, you will attain victory. Inner harmony is your greatest supporter in bearing the burden and challenges of life. Restlessness is that state which messes up and scatters the mind. It blurs the vision and causes misunderstanding. Emotion blurs your vision. Moods blur your vision. Most people act not out of understanding, but according to their moods. Understanding is the vision of your inner being, the sight of your soul, the telescope of your heart. Understanding is a balance of calm intelligence and purity of heart. Acting out of emotions is a distorted state that will lead you to do the wrong thing. And understanding that is guided solely by the intellect alone is inhumane. That too will teach you to do wrong things. You must have balanced understanding. If your understanding is governed by both heart and head, then you have clear vision on how to see yourself and others. You should analyze the many prejudices, preconceptions, that your understanding is subject to. Anytime you are making a decision or taking action, ask yourself if you are doing it through understanding or through emotion or some other preconceived influence on your mind. As long as you are subject to greed or anger, as long as you are influenced by the wrong thinking of others, as long as you are affected by the misunderstanding of others, so long will your own understanding be unclear. Human reason can always find equal pros and cons for both good and for bad actions. It is fundamentally disloyal and mostly unreliable. Discernment acknowledges and recognizes only one standard point of reference, which is the soul. Picture two men. On their right is the valley of life, and on their left is the valley of death. Both are men of reason, but one goes right and the other goes left. Why? Because one has used correctly his power of his right discernment from the soul, and the other has misused that power by indulging in false justifications. Watch your motives in everything. Both the greedy man and the yogi eat. But would you say that eating is a sin because it is often associated with greed? Number sin lies in the thought, in the motive. The worldly man eats to satisfy his greed, and the yogi eats to keep his body well. There is a lot of difference. Similarly, one man commits murder and is hanged for it. Another man kills many human beings on the battlefield in defense of his country and is given a medal. Again, it is the motive that makes the difference. Moralists make absolute rules, but I am explaining you illustrations to show you how you can live in this world of relativity, with self-control of feeling, but without being a robot or automated machine. The scientific way to live is to go within yourself and ask yourself whether you are doing right or wrong, and be absolutely sincere with yourself. If you are sincere with yourself, you are unlikely ever to go wrong, and even if you do, you will be able quickly to correct yourself. Every morning and night, go into silence or deep meditation, for meditation is the only way to discriminate between truth and error. Learn to be guided by your conscience, which is the divine discriminative power within you. God is the whisper in the temple of your conscience, and He is the light of intuition. You know when you are doing wrong. Your whole being tells you, and that feeling is God's voice. If you don't listen to Him, He becomes quiet. But when you wake up from your delusion and want to do right, He will guide you. By constantly following the inner voice of conscience, which is the voice of God, you will become a truly moral person, a highly spiritual being, a man of peace.